Hey there, it's Fabio and welcome back to another daily market outlook where we discuss all the major dollar pairs and gold. Now, when we have a look at the markets yesterday, we can see that overall EURUSD has been consolidative, not really providing us with any major movements. Now, the reason for this is obviously still the uncertainty surrounding tariffs, and there are three major headlines that I want to discuss with you. First of all, the Australian Prime Minister has said that Trump agreed to consider an exemption for Australia on steel tariffs, which is bullish for the Australian dollar. Second of all, Trump says Hamas should free all hostages by midday Saturday, or he will let all hell break out. Now, this is obviously going to cause gold to rise. And then last of all, Trump imposes 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum imports, which then in return are going to cause the dollar to go up. And then the pairs, or let's say the countries that export steel, aluminum into the United States, those currencies should not be performing very well. I suggest that that is going to be China and a few others. So that is what's going on in the markets. Now let's just dive in and see where the market is heading next. First of all, we have euro dollar still not really moving. It's still stuck inside of a range, with this being the range low, this being the range high. Overall, you know that I love using the range trading tool, where we just look at a 25% mark, which we have over here, and we look at the 75% mark, which we have over here as an area of resistance. Now, still just simply waiting for a new movement to happen. Yesterday, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can very clearly see that we failed to break the black line, which is the fractal high. For now, the fractal high is still in control, so this is still your protected high and this is still your open low. So as long as the order flow remains like this, we should still head down lower. So let's see if this orange zone here can hold, and as long as that does, we should head down lower. Obviously, once we start breaking, or if we break above that, let's see if we can then get a sustained push up higher, or if the market is too bearish. And obviously we have a monthly and yearly level over here. This is not going to happen overnight. This is probably going to happen towards the end of the week, where either we see a push up in towards that monthly and yearly level. We then form, let's say, an area of demand over here. Then we're going to need to see if this demand zone is valid by getting a change of character inside, because otherwise we could just hit that monthly and yearly level, maybe grab liquidity above these two equal highs, and then see a sell-off in towards the downside again. So we fabricated some liquidity above these two equal highs. Do keep that in mind for the week ahead. For the rest, it's not looking that interesting. It's very, very uncertain, as a lot of you have probably seen until now. Obviously, we had the push up, we had the retracement down, then we started seeing this V-shaped reversal in towards the highs. I was looking for follow through, didn't really get it. Now the market is just moving slowly and correctively in towards the downside again. So we need to see some momentum kick in. Today we have Powell speaking in the afternoon. He's going to be doing this testification. He's going to testify. Tomorrow is actually the bigger day itself, where we also have inflation numbers coming out and a few other things. So this week is full of inflation news, which is going to cause the market to move. But until then, I'm not expecting too much from EURUSD. So as I said, the 4-hour fractal high is currently your area of resistance. As long as that holds, downside is definitely possible. Let's say it does break, then we're going to have to see how we react to this newly created area of demand. If we do push down lower, obviously you could look for shorts, but for now it is just consolidating. So just wait until at least the New York session today for Powell to speak, and then obviously tomorrow those inflation numbers will cause the market to push as well. Going into the dollar index is moving slowly as well. Remember what I mentioned in yesterday's video. Yes, we have an area of what? Of daily supply. We have daily supply, and then we also have a monthly and yearly area of resistance. So this is the monthly and yearly open. This indicator is called opens, and these are, let's say, the boxes that I have ticked. Now, overall, it makes sense for the dollar index to sell off from there, in line with one, the daily fractal structure, and then number two, also in line with the weekly fractal structure. So those are the black lines. We're coming from a weekly imbalance, weekly area of supply, which makes sense to push the market down lower. So let's see if we can get that. All I'm looking for now for that push lower is obviously the 4-hour to align as well. As you can see from yesterday's market outlook, the 4-hour fractal low here, which is this line over here, that has still been holding, hasn't broken, and then we just continue up higher as explained in yesterday's video. Now, currently the new 4-hour fractal low is the low of the weekly open over here, or excuse me, one up higher over here. This is the most recent low that broke a high. So this is the most recent low here that broke this high over here. So what I'm now looking at is if we can get that push down, break that. Otherwise, the market would just do this and then maybe hit that monthly and yearly level. And then let's see if we get any corrective price action and then maybe finally a drop off. But yeah, for that drop, I need the 4-hour fractal low to go. That for me is going to be a lot more confirmation that sells are here. Yes, we are still situated inside what? Inside daily supply. And we have that monthly and yearly level as well there, or open, which are acting as resistance naturally. So just waiting for that, to potentially push the market down lower. So let's see, and just wait if we get anything in that regard. So yeah, a little bit indecision on the dollar, but let's see if we get that. Then going into Australian dollar against the US dollar. Well, as you can see, it is holding very, very strong based on what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, where we have obviously Trump stating that Australia is exempt for those tariffs on steel. Australia is a big exporter of steel, so that's why it is good for the Australian dollar. Now, if you look at the lower time frame being the 4-hour, you can then very clearly see that the 4-hour order flow is still holding. We see this push down, we see it pull back up, push down, and then boom, it break up as explained yesterday. Then we see a retracement back down. Where do we see the retracement into? We see it into pretty much the 50% fib level. And then from there, we start pushing up higher again. So a nice setup on AUDUSD overall. A lower time frame, again, when the market is consolidating, don't look too much at the fractal structure because the lower time frame is again consolidating, as we can see over here. It's stuck inside of this box, so it's a little bit of a guessing game. But overall, then what you have to do is just zoom out a bit, look for example at the 4-hour time frame, and then based on the 4-hour time frame, it still does make sense to push up higher. What I'm looking for is to see if we can then again break this high over here and then get that order flow to continue into what? Well, again, if we zoom out, we have two highs drawn out, and that is over here, this daily high, and we had this daily low. So we had liquidity underneath the low, and now we expect there to be liquidity above the high. So I'm ultimately still just waiting for that high to get taken out. Again, do keep in mind, Trump can say anything and then the market will reverse. But overall, based on that news that we have, it still does look good for AUDUSD to push up in towards this high over here. But yeah, the market is consolidating and it's waiting for Powell to speak and for the news or the numbers on inflation to come out. So do keep in mind that it is very risky, but overall, I'm still favoring an upside move from AUDUSD. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU has been selling off a little bit harder than the other ones. This is because there has been a weak pound. If we go into EURGBP, you will see that EURGBP has been pushing up higher and higher. Now, EURGBP is back up in somewhat of an area of supply inside of this imbalance that is causing some bearish momentum. And now GBPUSD is slowing down as well again, as you can see over here. Overall, GU just consolidative, not very interesting. Overall, I do understand that shorts are the more interesting one of the two. If we look at like buy versus sell, here we have the fractal high, here we have the fractal low on the daily, here we had a sweep of liquidity. And then obviously from a daily fractal structure perspective, with this being the high, this being the low, the shorts make sense. Then look at the 4-hour time frame, and then on the 4-hour, what we saw over here is that this area of supply pushed the market down lower. Then again, we had this area of supply pretty much pushing now the market down lower, and now we have this area of supply that is currently in control, has not yet been tapped into. This aligns with the weekly and the monthly level. The market should push into there and then push down, or if it breaks that area of supply, then it should push back up again. Remember, GU is pretty much ranging inside of this box here, so it could just again keep on ranging until the news comes out. But from a very simple technical analysis perspective, it does make sense to continue pushing down lower from that monthly and that weekly level, but also from that area of supply as well. But I'll be keeping an eye open to how the market reacts inside of there if we see any lower time frame bearish confirmation at all. Going into NZDUSD, we can see that NU is also pushing up higher from what? Exactly that monthly level. Overall, the daily fractal structure is the most beautiful of all pairs. We can see that this daily sell for the buy here is your area of demand, which we've retraced into. We've retraced into that monthly level. So again, from NU, it makes sense to push up higher again into where? Well, exactly the same as on AUDUSD, where we have liquidity positioned where? Well, above this high, and we had liquidity positioned below this low. Liquidity gets swiped. Liquidity is now open over here. So still looking to target that liquidity. Lower time frame being the 4-hour time frame is not that interesting yet. Waiting, definitely waiting. Yesterday we saw, yes, a fractal break, but this was more a liquidity grab. Remember, I mentioned on AUDUSD I wanted to kind of see a strong candle close. Didn't really come here, therefore it's just more liquidity grab to fuel the next move down. So for now, what I'm waiting for is overall this sell before the buy here to get broken, and then for us to form a demand zone. So let's see if we can get a push up, form a nice demand zone in this, and then I'll be looking for longs to take out like all of these descending highs above which there lies liquidity. So going to be looking for that, but we need a candle close above this orange box first, and then I'll be interested in those further longs from NZDUSD. So that's that, pretty much waiting for that. Not interested in shorts yet from NU myself. Yeah, looking for that on the daily, that little bit of further upside. Then we have gold. Last of all, gold made a strong retracement today. Yesterday, again, another massive bullish day for gold. So what is the reason that gold is pushing up higher? Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, obviously we have the situation where we discussed that Trump is going to let all hell break loose in Gaza against the Palestinians. So that's obviously a lot of uncertainty. Then we also have China and a lot of other emerging economies, or I wouldn't say China is an emerging economy, but we have a lot of emerging economies and a lot of other massive economies, especially the BRIC countries, who are also buying gold very heavily and trying to move away from the dollar a bit. And then we also obviously have the geopolitical uncertainty in the world, which is also causing a lot of people to see gold rise. And then also the uncertainty surrounding tariffs is also causing gold to rise as well. So that's a lot of reason for gold to push up higher. For now, we're back inside of a 4-hour demand zone over here. There are two areas of demand that I have my eyes open for. That is demand zone number 1 over here. And we have demand zone number 2, which we are currently situated inside of. So those are the two areas of demand that I'm looking for. Simply just follow the sell before the buys, and you should be good on gold. Overall, there is a chance that this could be liquidated. Then obviously we'll just look for longs from the bottom orange zone. Look at the 15-minute time frame and look for bullish confirmation. That is what you will need in order to get in on those longs. Personally, I would favor kind of like a liquidation of these equal lows. So let's see if we can get that before looking for any longs. Yes, the market could just start rising again, obviously, but preferably you always want to see equal lows get grabbed and then see the change of character up higher. Let's say it does break this imbalance over here or this imbalance over here, this buy before the sell down, then you could already look for longs once again. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to join the live stream this afternoon here on the channel, and I wish you all an amazing trading day. Thanks for watching.